Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Today we begin in Diamond 4, working our way back to Mythic after a doozy of a draft yesterday. If you have not checked out yesterday's draft, I know I post a lot of drafts here on the channel, and if you don't watch all of them and you just kind of pick and choose, yesterday is absolutely one to go watch. You're going to want to see that. But we are diving in here to today's Pack 1 Pick 1 with a route that will probably be slightly less exciting or interesting than yesterday. Although I do think yesterday started with the Pack 1 Pick 1 Novice Inspector. Spoiler alert, it did not end that way. I could be wrong on that. It's been a while since I actually recorded that video. But Novice Inspector is the Pack 1 Pick 1 here. Insidious Roots is a fun card I have yet to have the chance to build around. I just don't think it's worth taking Pack 1 Pick 1. It's kind of the card you want to take when you have an idea that you might be in that deck a little bit. And if there wasn't a Novice Inspector in that last pack, I might have taken it. But there's a Novice Inspector in this pack too, and I don't see why I shouldn't just take two in a row. If it was good enough for Pack 1 Pick 1, it's good enough for Pack 1 Pick 2. Now, there's another Insidious Roots, but we've got double Novice Inspector. It's going to be hard to move me off of white here. There's a Consultant and an Essence of Antiquity. Both of those are not great early picks in my opinion. There is a Nervous Gardener and a Shock. I think I'll just take the Shock. Look, I've drafted Boros a lot of times here on the channel. Sometimes it's nice to just reset with a little bit of a meta deck and crush some noobs, as they say. No, I'm kidding. But Boros is a good deck, and Shock is a great card, and I think it's the best card in this pack, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it for that reason. I knew I'd be branching out of white for something. It's just which is the better card to do so with, and I think Shock was the better one there. If you're going to give me a pick 4 Perimeter Enforcer and Makeshift Binding, I will take it. And I think I've been presented with this pick before, and I don't actually know what's correct. Both of these cards are really, really good. I've ended up with Perimeter Enforcer in my deck a lot lately, but I haven't ended up with a lot of Makeshift Bindings, and I've always wanted a Makeshift Binding. I'm going to take the Makeshift Binding this time. I do like Perimeter Enforcer, don't get me wrong. Now, here's a Dogwalker spot, and we have the start of an absolutely busted Boros deck. I mean, could you ask for anything better out of a nice low-curve, aggressive Boros deck in your first 5 picks here? Seems fine to me. Go ahead and take Concealed Weapon here. It's a disguised creature you can flip up as a little bit of a combat trick, or you could just play it as a equipment and equip to give +3/+0, which goes very, very well with Dogwalker. Yeah, and look, pick 7 Insight Source. Sometimes you get into some pods where people just don't want to take the best cards, and I'm totally fine profiting off of that. It's very easy to just take the best cards in each pack, in the best colors in the set, in the best archetype in the set. Seems fine to me. The only thing this deck is missing, look, even Meddling Youths came back, same with Vigilante and Defender at Large. All of these cards are totally playable. In fact, Defender at Large might even be better than Meddling Youths, but I'll go ahead and take it here. I was going to say the only thing this deck is missing so far is some power. We have only commons. Yeah, literally only commons and a Meddling Youths and a Concealed Weapon, I guess. So I'd like to get access to a couple of rares. But you never know. Well, speaking of rares, this is one of the better ones. But unfortunately not for today. How's a third Novice Inspector sound? That's obviously very good. I would love to wheel one of these Offenders at Large here. That would be great, pick 9. But we're just going to go ahead and take Novice Inspector and get past yet another very, very good rare. But how about a 4th Novice Inspector? Yeah, Cryptic Code is great, but it's the best common in the set. I'm just going to keep taking it. think I'll take the Shock here over Vigilante and Red Herring, both of which cards I probably would play in this deck. Well, not probably. I know I would play, but I also do really like Shock. I haven't gotten a chance to play with Shock lately, and it's a great card. One of the better commons in the set, in my opinion. Not on my watch is a much more defensive white card. Don't think it goes well here. Due Diligence actually does some good work. It's pretty good with Novice Inspector because it actually turns it into a relevant body. I don't like Mask Maker. What I would like to get access to, at least one of, is On the Job here. That is also what this deck is missing. But, you know, something like Agris Costs, Aurelia, War Leader's Call, you know, there's a lot of powerful cards in this set, as proven by the cards we've already passed, like Vein Ripper and can't remember the name of the blue the blue equipment that we passed as well, but all of those being very, very good. And we don't have any of that for our deck yet. We have a very good low to the ground aggressive Boros deck. Cryptic Coat. Sorry, there's the name of the card. Whenever I watch videos back, like even my own videos or other content creators as well, I know the names of these things a whole lot better than when I'm behind the camera trying to recall them for you guys. For some reason, I just do not remember them near as well when I'm recording. We did get an Offender at Large back. That's not a bad pickup here. So, got just two flip creatures so far. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of generically good cards in this pack, or in this draft so far. Like I said, we're just missing the power and the Anthem and the On the Job and things like that, and a second Dog Walker possibly, and just, you know, things that like really, really pay you off for being in these aggressive go wide decks. Only thing I could consider here is really Shady Informant, but probably not going to include that in my Boros deck, I wouldn't think. Would I have rathered a Perimeter Enforcer in this deck as opposed to a Makeshift Binding? At this point, I don't think so, because we have Double Shock, which deals with small things, and our Makeshift Binding is going to be the thing to deal with, well, big things. And would love to get maybe one more Makeshift Binding, one more Dog Walker, and On the Job, and then like one powerful rare. I think that would let this deck turn into what I would consider to be a good version of the deck. Well, here's the second Makeshift Binding, so at least we did get that here. We did open a decent rare, not an outstanding one, but definitely not for our deck. And maybe another Offender at Large comes around. Pretty easy Makeshift Binding here. Struck out on yet another rare. And honestly, struck out on this entire pack. This whole pack is horrible. Well, you know, push-pull is actually a 6-mana way to kind of, like, win the game. It's expensive, but casting pull goes a long way. Lots of black here. There's another Felonious Rage. I mean, Felonious Rage goes pretty well with Novice Inspector, especially 4 of them, so I might even play 2 of these. I could play an Escape Tunnel. I don't really think I need to. Tap lands are not great in decks like these, but I'm still just looking for an Aurelia or an Agris Cost or something, but it's getting later and later. I think it's kind of not really in the cards today, but we do get a Reckless Detective. Like I said, this is just going to be common and uncommon Boros today. We have literally no rares in the entire deck. Shock versus a second Auspicious Arrival. No, we didn't even take the first one. No, we did. Here it is. Yeah, I'll take Shock. And this is basically the deck. Just 12 creatures. Sorry, jeez. Museum Night Watch versus Red Herring number 2. This is close. I think I'm going to take Museum Night Watch. This is a card, as I've mentioned before, I think I like more than most. It's just a 4-mana 3/2 that dies into a 2/2. it just keeps the creatures flowing. We have 2 more shots at On the Job. I think that's the last card we can really hope to get, and now we've only got 1 more shot at it. I don't think I'm playing double Arrival and double Felonious Rage here. I also don't think I'm playing a Griffknot Tracker, but I guess I'll take it. And cross your fingers for an On the Job. Pick 8. Let's see if it comes around. And we did not get it. There is a Bustle, but I don't think we need both Push-Pull and Hustle Bustle in the same deck. Not that I think we really need anything here. I'm not going to play anything. I'm just going to go ahead and rare draft. Oh, interesting. Offender at Large did not come back around here. I'm not going to play another Due Diligence. Yeah, I'm not playing anything here. I think Boros was actually quite open this draft. I just don't think the cards were opened at the table, unfortunately. That's what it's looking like. But I still think Boros being the best deck in the format, this deck has a pretty good chance to succeed. So I'm going to go ahead and build it, and I'll see you after deck building. Okay, so this is where I ended up after deck building here. A little light on the creatures. This is going to be a strange deck here. 12 creatures, 3 shocks, 2 bindings, so 5 removal spells here, as well as 2 rages, an arrival, and a due diligence. So kind of like 4 combat tricks. Mainly because of 4 novice inspectors. Now, I currently have 16 lands in this deck, and now that I'm looking at it, I do actually think I need to go to 17. Because I just realized that the 4 novice inspectors are all also mana sinks with the clues. So we got to cut 1 more card here, and it's probably just going to be one of these combat tricks, I would think. Probably just a Felonious Rage. I'll keep an Arrival and a Rage here. I could cut the Due Diligence as well. This card is an absolute beating. Sometimes if you play this when they're untapped or when they're all tapped out, it does some serious work. So again, 0 rares in the entire deck. Not thrilled about that, but we're gonna see if Boros can do Boros things. It's got the ability to. It's got the ability for some good draws and some good late games. So we're gonna give it a shot, and I'll see you in game number 1. Okay, starting on the draw here, the hand is really not great, but I hesitate to send back hands that have both of our manas, both colors of mana, and at least a play, a removal spell, things like that. Yeah, this is why I don't really like playing 17 lands in decks that want to draw creatures, but here we are. Guess we're playing Inside Source next turn, and then the following turn, see what we draw and stuff. 4 Novice Inspectors, and we can't find even one of them by turn 3 here. More lands. No, I don't need that. So clearly some sort of combat trick, it looks like, if they're attacking with Seasoned Consultant. They are missing land drop, so at least there's that. I think they've got Long Goodbye to kill the Dog Walker, maybe? They did have Long Goodbye, they just chose to kill the 2/2. Interesting. Yeah, again, don't really want to trade this for a combat trick, so... Ugh. More lands. Okay. Guess we attack. Well. Alright. So they had 2 long goodbyes here. Resolves. And yeah. Not thrilled. I still don't want to make Shift Binding either of these things. They find a 3rd land, or they still screwed here? No play. Interesting. Alright. See if they've got the removal for the inside source. I mean, I kind of just have to go forward here and see if they've got a 3rd 2-mana removal spell. Okay. I guess we have to kind of 2-for-1 ourselves here a little bit. Can we find one of those Novice Inspectors? No, we can find an 8th land, though. We've got 8 lands and they've got 2. Who wins that matchup? They have to discard? No, they have 7 cards in hand. They might just concede being mana screwed here. I could have cast Pull and gotten like Seasoned Consultant and Dogwalker, which would have attacked for another 6, but I can do that next turn here. Which might be lethal, especially if they attack with Gorehound. I don't think they will anymore. Okay, so they're hitting a land drop next turn. We know that now, because they kept it on top. Oh my gosh. Just give me good attacks and I'll try to win next turn with Pull. So they go to 7. We got 4 Novice Inspectors in the deck. Haven't found any of them. Which is a 2-for-1 on a stick. Yeah, that's what I needed. Let's do Red Herring and Inside Source, and then I can even sacrifice the Red Herring. There's all the Novice Inspectors after we've drawn 10 of our lands here. Got very lucky that they got mana screwed because we had a horrible draw. We didn't find basically any of our disguised creatures. We found one of them. We have like 4 or 5 in the deck. Didn't find any of our Novice Inspectors, and that was the whole reason we're playing 17 lands, is for all these mana sinks of clues and flipping up disguise. Goodness. Oh my gosh. I can't stand... I hate this so much. This is like the worst feeling. Okay, at least that gets us lethal. My goodness, it's just such a horrible feeling, though. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lands in an aggressive deck here. I just, I still stand by possibly wanting to go back down to 16. This is the reason why. You just get into this. And if they hadn't been mana screwed, we would have lost that game so badly. Alright, I decided to keep it at 17 for at least one more game. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to lead on Novice Inspector as opposed to Scapegoat. This thing has haste and menace, so it can come down next turn, potentially. If I want it to. I might just crack the clue next turn, actually. Oh, well that's nice. Now I won't. So let's do this. And then get on in. Play Novice Inspector, and I don't think I'm going to suspect this one. I'd rather suspect one of these creatures, I think, if anything. Play a disguise creature. Go ahead and hit with this. I'd be fine trading this off for Sanitation Automaton here. I don't think they will. Then we'll play a Dog Walker. And now we start missing land drops. Oh boy. So last game we couldn't do anything but draw more of them, and now we're going to start missing them. Welcome to the channel for those of you that are new. That's seems to be par for the course for the channel a lot of the time. I will decline, and then with a 2/2, I think I'll also decline. As long as they don't play anything else, I don't have a reason to not keep pecking in there with the Scapegoat. Now I have a reason. Alright, playing against the mirror. And they don't necessarily have on the job, but I mean, what could they have? Is there a mass pump spell with just one white mana available? I guess I would have to do it this way. This enables that I eat as many creatures as I can. Alright, what do you got? Oh. There is a mass pump spell with only one white. I can't say I knew about Fuss in the format. That is a card I did not expect to be cast. Unfortunately. Yeah, that makes it tough. Especially because they're 1/1 counters, and they ate like 3 of our creatures there. So that'll probably kill us this game. If the mana situation didn't already. Oh, sure. Get on in with everything. Okay, take 8. And Consultant, pass. Missed land drop. I think I need to shock the Dog Walker and then probably push a dog so they can't attack as a 3/3 next turn. That feels horrible, but I mean, think it's something we probably need to do. Alright, I guess I'll eat another combat trick. Nope, okay. We successfully held off their attacks. But I guess now we just... I mean, we've got so many clues and no mana to crack them, and... I do think I will suspect this one now, as it becomes a 3-2. And now my 1-1 can block. They did have priority on our turn, notably, so it's some sort of instant. It's a great card. Especially if they start dumping their hand. Yeah, if we can't get them killed here soon, it's probably pretty close to over. Although, yeah, this is just a creature, so I could get rid of their 2-2 and try to start attacking. The red herring doesn't do much at this moment. It just bounces off their consultant. So let's attack here. I will attempt to kill their 1-3. And they've got a trick. So at least I've got a 2-2 left behind from this. And then... And then I guess I could just play the post-combat red herring, and then next turn if we draw a land we can play makeshift binding on something and then also crack a clue. We just have to outrace this thing, because if this becomes solved, they're going to be drawing almost 3 cards a turn here. Yeah, I'm relatively okay if that's how they want to be using their mana. Or using the make your move card. Attack with the 2-2. They have another trick. Alright, well, they got all the cards out of their hands, solved the case, killed a lot of our creatures, have a 2-2 left over, have a 1-3. It's not looking great for the home team here. See, these are the kind of cards we just don't have access to in this deck, unfortunately, so... So now they're drawing 3 cards a turn, and I don't think we'll be able to keep up. Yeah, just play a 5-4 and I can't really beat it. Probably should have held on to the makeshift binding there. And I will crack one of these now because, again, we have more Novice Inspectors in the deck, so we could draw one. And of course we drew the one card that mattered about the way that I tapped in the opposite direction. And there's the War Leader's Call, so, yeah. See, these are the cards that our deck just doesn't have, so we go against the mirror and that'll be the thing that kills us. What else you got? Shock or something? Yep, it is shock. I think I just have to cash this in for a 2/2, as horrible as that feels. I just need blockers to survive here. Yeah, the drawing the 3 cards a turn is really what's going to do it here. As I mentioned, this card is great once you do get to solve it. That's a flyer. That's a big pump. I don't think we have an out, but I mean, you never know if there's a way to remove this somehow. Yeah, I don't, now that we're dumping so much mana, I think we're pretty much just dead here. And that'll do it. Alright. Yeah, just don't have the power. It's a very, very powerful format, and if you don't end up with the power in your deck, can't really compete. Well, this is about as good of a hand as we can ask for with this deck. Now, going on the draw 3 straight games is not where you want to be with the aggro deck, but that's something we can't control. So we're just going to deal with it. No plays. Okay. Let's get Reckless Detective down here. And then next turn we could potentially play an Inspector, attack with Detective, sack the clue, draw a card, and then hold up double shock. But that's not the most mana efficient thing to do. It just depends on what they play. Yeah, now I'll just shock that, and I think that is the play I'll make. So let's play Inspector. Let's shock here. Hold up another shock. Attack. Sack the artifact, draw another card. And then pass. And now we've got a lot of 3 mana. So next turn we can disguise a creature as well as shocking something. That does take up a lot of our mana. That's also another great thing we could be doing. So let's see. See, this is why we took 4 Novice Inspectors. And then I guess we'll disguise a Dog Walker, I think. We've gotten all kinds of value in 2-for-1s here. But again, no power, just value. No plays at all. Do I shock that thing? I don't think I'm gonna shock it. So let's discard. I think we just need to push our advantage right now, pun intended. So let's do this. See if they want to trade with the dog walker. Looks like they will. We'll get our 2/1/1s and then play Krovat Haunch holding up shock here, I guess. It was a Basilica Stalker. Now they've got 4 mana. Okay. Killing the detective, I assume. Yep. That's fine. Alright, so Scapegoat plus, I guess, just Inside Source and just go enormously wide. Decline. Yeah, that seems fine to suspect as opposed to the Scapegoat. So take 5, and now we've got all sorts of damage on the board here. Got an additional 4 damage, kind of, if we need it. Inspector. That's a bit of life gain, sure. And Automaton, yeah. Let's go ahead and get rid of this thing. Attack all, play an Offender at Large, I think. We're wide enough that they can eat a 1/1 or whatever and take like 7. Play Offender at Large. And then next turn, this probably wins it, I think. Yeah. Alright. Well, we used all of our cheap creatures, and Reckless Detective plus Novice Inspector went a long way that game. Once again, a fine starting hand with all of our mana. Once again, on the draw for the 4th straight game with an aggro deck. You give and you take. You're blessed with decent-ish starting hands and cursed with going on the draw all of the time. So we got Red Herring on 2, Inside Source on 3, and just going from there, really. And we do have Auspicious Arrival to back this up if they try to play an X3 or something like that. But if they just play a disguised creature, I'll attack into it. And that is an X3. Okay. So let's see if they do block it. And it's not the most mana efficient thing to do, but, you know, it does get rid of their, not necessarily bomb, but their very good rare card at the expense of expanding our board, which is unfortunate, but... Novice Inspector. That's decent. It's just... lands are also good. Case of the Filched Falcon probably cracked the clue if I had to guess. Yep. I think they're searching for a land here. And they did not find it. I'm just gonna be mana efficient here and just play this. And just go wide again. Seemed to work last time. We've been blessed with our opponents missing land drops as well, so at least there's that. Coveted Falcon. Yeah, sure. Guess I do this and play Novice Inspector, or I could just attach Krovat Haunch to something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then they're dead to shock if they choose to eat the inside source. I think that's okay. So if they can't somehow gain life this turn, then they're just dead. That should do it. There we go. All right. Again, Boros is the best deck in the format because it has these good cards, but we're going to see how far we can go with powerless Boros. All right, we do get to go first this time, and we'll keep it with a Novice Inspector on 1. All right, come on, land drops. If I don't hit a 2-drop, I'm just going to crack the Clue and disguise the Walker here. Yeah, I think that seems best. I could play the Walker as just a 3/1, but they're probably going to play something that would block it well. Yeah, see, that blocks it quite well, so let's just go ahead and crack the Clue. Probably disguise the Walker on 3. Be fine trading off a Novice Inspector here if they want to. Yeah, I don't mind that too much. I've already got my 2 for 1. Disguise the Walker, and then next turn... Next turn is difficult, because it depends on what happens with our land situation here. Okay. So I'll attack. And then just go ahead and disguise Offender at Large, keeping up Shock here. Yeah, I think it's either Auspicious Arrival or Shock, and I think I'm going to have it just be the Auspicious Arrival here. It's tough now, because Meddling Youths is good. Flipping up these creatures is fine. See, I could flip up Dogwalker and also hold up Shock here. I could attack with just Defender at Large. I could play Meddling Youths attack with all 3, but then one of these gets to get traded off. I think I'm just going to trade off one of these here. I do get an extra clue out of it. They might not even want to. Their creature might be more valuable. Yeah, okay, so they did choose the Dogwalker, which is fine, I guess. Down goes Meddling Youths. And nothing else. Okay. So we'll attack here. And then, I mean, the best thing to do is just hit him for 7, I think. And then hold up Shock. No plays. I expect this to die at instant speed here, so let's see if I can find anything off the top that assists me. No, how's another land? So down goes Offender. Push-pull would be insane right now. Meddling Youths plus Offender at Large. I'm going to keep the land in hand now that we know they have Unscrupulous Agent, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the land, but I don't... They could disguise this and cast Agent here. Those are possibilities. Let's go ahead and just kill these things here. Okay, Novice Inspector. There have been worse draws, I suppose. And, yeah, again, not playing the land because we know they have Agent. Galvanize the concealed weapon. Okay. Shady Informant. That probably has to eat the makeshift binding here, I would think. Do we have enough for both? Oh, not quite. We will next turn, though. We don't have lethal now, do we? We can get Offender at Large and Meddling Youths. They block the 5-powered creature. They take 4, 5, 6 here. You can get Orangutan and Basilica Stalker. Yeah, so we should have it next turn, I would think. Because we can get... Yeah. And that has to attack. This should be fine. See if they sack it. No? Okay. So let's get... these two here. Give that here. And this is lethal, unless they have removal. Looks like they have something. Alright, they have the removal for the Novice Inspector, so they go to 3 here. And we've got nothing left on board. Okay, so just basically using that to gain a little bit of life and cycle away the toxin analysis. I don't think playing a land is going to be that beneficial for us. They've been stuck on one swamp the whole time. Okay, yeah, sure. And a disguise. We're at this point of the game here. think we're gonna lose this one, unfortunately. I have to shock the informant. I can't really afford to try to shock their face. Which means I die next turn on board. Well, no, not technically next turn. What else can we even draw at this point? This is unfortunately a race we lose, so we might have to sack this red herring. Is there another shock in the deck here? Nope. Used all the direct damage. That was a very interesting decision there. Don't know why they would have done that, but I'll take it. Okay, not bad. That does get rid of their creature. Alright. Well, that flipped it around a little bit. Yeah, I was waiting for Judith or Rakdos to come down, honestly. That's what I was truly waiting for. Alright, Scapegoat. Go to combat, hit you for 1. Play. Now, the only reason I want to play this disguised first is just so they don't know what this is. I think I will choose to suspect it. I could have played it up as a 3-2, but they don't know what this could be, and I'm just going to play like this because I've got the mana to flip it up on their end step. Really hope they don't find a life-linking spell. Removal wouldn't be great for us either. I figured they had either Judith or Rakdos in the deck. Most of the time, these black-red decks do. It's one of the better reasons. That's an interesting decision to suspect to make that creature unable to block. Alright, and we got it. Wow. Couple of misplays by our opponent there that definitely kind of gave us that game, I think. I don't think we deserved to win it, but we take those. Okay, we're up first again, and we do have a red herring, and we need to find land drops. That is the name of the game. Nope, not here. You know what? I think this is actually a spot where you're supposed to play Dogwalker on turn 2 here. Because if you miss the land, you play Red Herring next turn. This thing can actually still attack. It pushes more damage this way. If we hit the land, especially if the land is a mountain, we can play Red Herring and hold up Felonious Rage. I mean, now these two just kind of trade off. We just, being so mana constrained... Like, we were never going to be flipping this, missing all the land drops that we're going to be missing here. Sure, give me a 2/2, I guess. I mean, you can't win a game when you're stuck on 2, so if we stay on 2, we're just not going to win. Let's do inside source. I think that sets up for a better due diligence. Gives us more targets, potentially. Karlov Watchdog, yeah, that's a problem. Wow. Can't really do anything about that either. So I have to take 9? I mean, the only thing I can really see to do is, like, try to dissuade them from attacking with a bunch of creatures here. And, like, hope my 4/4 survives, but if the 4/4 dies, then we're also just dead. Like, they're gonna be attacking for, like, 15 or something. Shock would have been a nice draw there, so we could disguise a creature and also shock the Watchdog. This tracker could end up being a problem with all the Novice Inspectors we have, but we are so constrained on mana, I'm not even worried about drawing Novice Inspectors and also cracking those clues at this point. I'm kind of worried about just surviving. Here comes everything, I'm sure. And then... I mean, I guess I just have to do the best I can to limit the damage here. 8, 9, 10, 11. This kills us to a on the job. How about this? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're still alive to on the job here. Not that it's really going to matter if they have it. If they have it, we're just, I mean, we're at 1 and they've got like 3 creatures and we have 1 creature. So we're basically just dead anyway, so. Oh, fuss. That's almost worse. In fact, that basically is worse. Go to 5. Okay, don't die. Go to 1. And go to 0, because they've got combat trick too. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're stuck on 2 lands, so you're not going to win that. All right, starting on the draw game. We've had all of our colors, or not on the draw, on the play, had all of our colors of mana each game, so at least that is a consolation we can hang our hat on. And I guess crack a clue on 2, or just, you know what, how about play a Novice Inspector, hold up Shock. And then next turn we could just play a Due Diligence and start bashing on in, have a 3/4. Ah. Shock does not kill that, unfortunately. Felonious Rage does, though. Can't imagine they're blocking here. That's good news for me. I don't get my 2/2 out of the deal, but I still traded 1 mana for their creature here. That's a trade I'll take. Red herring. Go ahead and get rid of it. And yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just do this while they're tapped out and can't interact with it here and still hold up shock. Looks like they're now mana screwed. What is today is just the day of mana screw for any player, us or them. Let's see what we find first before playing another Novice Inspector. Oh, well, that's a pretty darn good draw. Well, not necessarily a darn good draw. I mean, it's a creature we can play in addition to Novice Inspector, and now we still have 2 clues here. Inside source. Okay. See what we find. Okay, so let's get in here. I'd be fine trading Scapegoat off for inside source if they want to let me do that. And then I guess we'll just disguise the Dog Walker and go wide. Alright, they're hitting lands. Ooh, Lightning Helix. That's a way to get back into it. That is a card I don't have in my deck. If they can't kill that, that's probably it. But let's see if they do have removal for that here. Another Lightning Helix. I mean, yeah. Can't do anything about that. Alright, we've done it. We've assembled Novice Inspector Tron here. But now we are completely out of gas. So let's see if they can draw their way out of it. Post-combat red herring, that makes sense. And a Vengeful Tracker. Yeah, they're drawing their way out of it, and we are not. So, I mean... Screw usually beats Flood if you can stabilize, and that is what's happening right now. We don't have a go-wide payoff here, so I'm willing to see if they want to trade a red herring for a Novice Inspector, or a combat trick out of their hand. Or a removal spell, I guess. I mean... I should have triple blocked there, that was kind of dumb. But, you know, when we're just sitting here drawing all the lands, you know. Who cares? Sure, I'll take 2 this time, whatever. Alright, they're starting to go wider than we are, and we just haven't drawn anything. Let's call this bluff this time here. Yeah, they had another trick. Good for them. I thought I got the trick out of their hand, but they had another one. And now I think we are wildly behind. Oh, classic. Oh, another one. How many tricks can you have? Ugh. I don't even know what I could draw at this point. We've gotten rid of all of our novice inspectors here, so that's not even that great. Gadget technician looks like what that is. There it is. And then we die, I guess. Man, man, oh man. We had them at 4 with like 3 creatures, and then drew 4 out of 5 lands in a row or something, and that's how it goes. This is why I like playing 16. I mean, we have so many mana sinks. We even drew all of our mana sinks in that game and still flooded out. Just feels so horrible sometimes. I mean, we didn't really even get to play that game. So 4-3 with a pretty not great deck. I mean, if we had had that poor of a version of any other archetype in the set, it probably would have been a 2-3 or 1-3. But because it's Boros, we still got to steal some games because we had good, generically good cards. Just no power, and that is Karlov Manor for you. If you don't have power, you can't really get all the way there. And it's very easy to get power. We just didn't have any of it. So 4-3, I'll take it though. Moved on up into Diamond 3, I think. Might have gotten demoted to Diamond 4. Didn't even look at there at the end. I don't really care. See you tomorrow for your daily draft.